Summer in Chicago. Saw you again, felt like tomorrow. But every day it feels like you're someone else.
Yeah, no, I don't have shit. What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another video here in Chicago at Rockford Charitables. If you guys like high stakes action, this is not the video for you, but if you're in the mood for some 1-2 with some drinking and some straddles and friendly faces from previous vlogs, you're gonna like this video as always. Thanks for tuning in. Drop a like on this video and let's jump right into the hands. Let's go.
Summer in Chicago. Saw you again, felt like tomorrow. But every day it feels like you're someone else.
I have some exciting news to announce for everyone in the Chicagoland area. After years of talking about it, I finally got Ethan out here and we're hosting a meetup game September 13th at Rockford Charitables. Because of Illinois gaming, it's the only spot in the city that will permit us to film, but I've had meetup games here before and it's gonna be a blast. Oh, and we're catering the best pizza in the city, Lou Malnati's. So yeah, on Tuesday from 6 to 11, we'll be hosting a bunch of 2-5 games. So come out and make the vlog. I've already had word that people from Iowa and Michigan are driving 3 hours each to catch some punts. The video today coincidentally takes place at the same spot as that meetup, so you can get a good vibe as to how it will feel. We're into the 1-2 for $300. First hand of the night, I look down at pocket kings from the cutoff. One limp to me, so I raise it up to $15, and we just get called by the player in the middle position. The flop comes pretty great for us. King 9-3, bang, we flop top set. Straight out of the gate, flopping top set of kings. Pretty great spot for us, and I decide to lead out for $15. Could maybe even go a little bit bigger with the flush and gutter to straights on the board, but he pretty quickly puts in the call and we see a good card on the turn, the ace of spades. Not only does it not bring in the front door diamond draw, it puts an overcard to the king. So now if he was floating us with something like ace 5 of diamonds, ace 10 of diamonds, maybe it's something just like ace jack, he was floating, didn't think I had it, he now makes a great hand. When he checks it over to me for a second time, I think it's important to size up. That's what I do. I bet out for $40 into the $60 pot. And once again, we are going to get paid with $40 more coming from middle position. When the river comes the jack of clubs, once again, not a bad card. I doubt he's going to have queen 10 unless it's like queen 10 of diamonds or queen 10 of spades. He's going to have a lot of king jack and ace jack, so I decided to put him all in. He only has around $50 left, so I expect him just to put it in, which he does not. He finds a fold, but we're going to take down that first pot of the night, $140 coming my way. Second hand, we downgrade from pocket kings to pocket tens. The $5 straddles on and Daniel blind raises to $10. I know blind raising is not the craziest thing in the world, but get used to it in this vlog because we're going to learn a new term called blind theory optimal. Just wait for it. Daniel blind raises it to 10 and there's 2 callers over to me. Considering the person who raised it is blind and then there's 2 callers, I need to put in a re-raise. I make it $50. Only Daniel puts in the call and we're heads up to a flop which comes ace-6-4 with 2 diamonds. The action's on me. I decided to bet out into him for $35 and he puts in the call. It's important to note though, at this point he has looked at his hand, so when the turn card comes the deuce of hearts, I'm going to continue betting and putting a lot of pressure on any of his flush draws. Having the 10 of diamonds in my hand isn't the best. I still think we can get him to fold a lot of hands like king queen, queen jack, stuff like that have 2 overs to us, so I put in the $50 bet and he decides to put in the call once again. When the river comes the 3 of diamonds, definitely not a great card. It brings in some straights. It also brings in the front door diamond draw. So now I decide to bet a blocker bet of $27. If we get re-raised, it's likely he has the goods. If he just calls, we maybe could get value from pocket 9s, pocket 8s. So I kind of like my blocker bet, but he decides to re-raise me to $85, which is just so small. I only have to put in around another $60 to make this call. The pot is already $290. But I made the blocker bet for a reason. When I get raised, he just has the goods. My one pair can never be good, so I decide to muck my cards. It's a friendly game. The vibes here at the charity games are great. He tosses his cards over to me, and I look down at 6-8 of diamonds. So yes, he had the goods. The raise on the river was for value, and he's going to take that one down. Sir, are you blind right now?
I am. We're gonna turn over my hand in a second after the count.
This guy just ripped it in. And you're blind too, huh?
Absolutely. No other way to play. These glasses don't help at all.
I'll fold.
You probably would have hit fucking strip 7.
I probably will suck up.
Yeah, for 94.
Oh, ace queen always loses. I'm good. I got 9-3, man.
There's 95.
You're
Get one
screwed.
back. There's some live
I
cards.
didn't even want to watch the 40%.
Yeah, I couldn't afford the whole thing.
Don't do it.
Oh, that's no good. But
Oh my
diamond-
god, I would have won. I would have won the ace-7.
Uh-oh. I'm screwed. Wait, can we make this a 2?
How do you not
I
call?
would have won with the ace-7. What the fuck? Why didn't I fucking go blind?
After getting a tease of the blind theory optimal madness, I top on for additional $100 and look down at pocket jacks and decide to raise it up to $15 from middle position. We're gonna get 3 callers. That means we're 4 ways to the flop, which gives us a gutter to a straight, and an overpair comes 10, 9, 7 with 2 clubs. I decide to lead out into the field small for $15, seeing what the other players decide to do. We end up getting called by exactly everybody, so we're still 4 ways to the turn, which comes the 8 of hearts. Bang! We turn the straight. Not only that, we have a double blocker to someone having queen jack, so you can pretty much rule that out of the opponent's hands. Small blind decides to rip it all in for $96. Middle position puts in the call, and the action's on me. What the heck is going on here? Do they have flush draws? Do they have sets? Either way, I have to be good. At the worst, we're chopping against a hand like 10 jack or 9 jack. Pretty unlikely someone has queen jack, although it is still possible. There's 2 jacks left in the deck. When the action's back over to me, the middle position has 450 in his stack, so I decide to rip my stack all in. I might as well get it in good, right? The action comes back around to him, and he puts in the call. So we see a clean river card, which comes the 4 of spades, and I confidently turn over my 2 jacks. The small blind does in fact turn over queen jack offsuit. How the heck does he have that? At least it wasn't middle position. So although we're losing the main pot, we're going to win the side pot against middle position, which pretty much keeps us at around break even for the hand. Next hand to note, we look down at the bullets from the small blind. Few limps over to me, and I raise it up to $20. When we get called in 3 spots, we're going to go 4 ways to a flop once again, which comes 7, 6, deuce with 2 spades. I don't have a spade in my hand. I decide to lead out into the field for $25, and only Daniel puts in the call. Going heads up to the turn, which comes a queen of hearts, a great card because now he could pick up some hands that can call 2 more streets. I decide to bet out for $55 now, looking to get some value. And in hindsight, this is a little bit too small. Any of his spade draws will probably call a little bit larger. And if he floated me on the flop with a hand like king queen or queen jack, he could probably convince himself to call for 75 to 100 bucks. So I think I left a little bit of value on the table, but that's neither here nor there. He puts in the call, which brings in the river card, the king of spades, a disaster card because not only it brings in the obvious front door spade draw, it also brings in a hand like king queen. Not a great spot, so I decide to blocker bet once again into Daniel for $26. It seems like I get these bad runouts when I'm up against him, and I'm forced to blocker bet myself into a cheap showdown. When he smells weakness, he always likes to raise it up, it seems. He raises this one up to $125. I made a correct fold on the last time he raised me on the river, but he made it a lot smaller. This one is a lot bigger. It's a 5x. Remember last time I bet 27 and he raised me up to $86? Now I bet 26, but he makes it 125. Last time he had the flush on the river. This time he raises larger. Does that mean that he's a little bit more bluffy? I'm not too sure, but my curiosity gets the better of me here, and I actually decide to put in the call this time. He has a flush once again. He turns over 10-8 of spades. Get a lot of outs on the flop, but ends up getting there on the river. No bueno for me. He's going to take down that $500 pot, and it seems like Daniel has our number this session. Stacks me in a $400 pot, buys me a beer. It's a trade I'll make every day.
Summer in Chicago. Saw you again, felt like tomorrow. But every day it feels like you're someone else.
After getting stacked in that last hand, we're forced to rebuy for 300 more. Fortunately, we're up to $400 on the button when we look down at ace-4 of hearts. Middle position, who is Alex, he's playing Blind Theory Optimal. He raises it up to $8 blind, and I decide to re-raise him to 25 bucks. Obviously that makes sense against a player who hasn't looked at their cards yet, but what I'm failing to realize is the player to my left, Tom, who's the Blind Theory Optimal king and co-founder, he still has cards and he decides to also raise blind to $75. Now we got an open, I 3-bet the blind player, and we get 4-bet out of the small blind by Tom. Alex now, of course, goes all in for $85 blind, and what else do I have to do other than jam my stack in versus 2 blind opponents? Tom has 500 in his stack and I have 400. I have ace high, which has to be ahead of 2 blind opponents, you'd think, right? Fortunately for us, Tom folds, so his money is dead. Alex turns over jack 8 offsuit, and well, let's just run the clip.
There's a jack.
My God.
There's another jack.
Oh my God, I would have won.
I'll admit, one of the perks of having a vlog is you constantly run into amazing people like Alex and Tom that want to make the vlog, and hence they make the game so much better to play in. Today's no different, and come out to the meetup game on September 13th and I guarantee you it's going to be a blast like this. This next hand I look down at pocket queens and Alex opens it, of course, blind to $8. I decide to re-raise them this time to $30, hoping to disincentivize other people from calling. Does that work? Absolutely not. 4 people put in the call, so we're going 5 ways to the flop, and I have the ladies. With $150 out there, the flop seems just about as safe as it can be. 7 deuce deuce with 2 hearts. We'd probably prefer one of the hearts to be like a spade or a club, but that doesn't really matter. We have an overpair in a great spot. Alex decides to bet $60 blind, and the action's on me. I could be raising. Instead, I decide just to put in the call, and that brings in Tom, who also calls blind. So here I am at a poker table in a 3-way with 2 blind people. That's a sentence I never thought I'd say in my life. Go figure, but the turn card comes the ace of hearts, an absolute disaster. They are blind, so it's hard to put them on a flush draw, but an overcard is definitely not a welcome sight for us, but Alex decides to rip in his stack for $159. I just don't think I can be folding a pair. I don't have a heart. Sure, he could have a heart and suck out, but that's how poker works. We're gambling. I put in the 159, and Tom finally looks at his hand and realizes it's no good and mucks his cards. When the river comes a 6 of clubs, Alex shows a 7, and I confidently turn over my queens. Alex shows 7-5 offsuit, so he did in fact have a pair, which is pretty good blind. But that's not good enough to beat my ladies, and I am finally taking down a nice sized pot, $650 coming my way. But what feels better is I beat the 2 blind people in the hand. Let's freaking go. Finally win it.
You were scared for a second. You were waiting for that 2 to come.
I was prepared to give him my money. I mean, it's...
Nice hand.
Yeah.
Blind Theory Optimal is a simple theory. You raise pre-flop blind, you bet the flop blind, and you hit runner for a straight.
And you hope for a bad flop. That's very important. You know, you gotta see where
Like,
you're
look,
at.
right here, right, this is Blind Theory. This is
here we
typical
go.
blind. So we're gonna bet 30 blind, and we're gonna see what happens.
Yeah, see, a mediocre flop. This is a good one for Blind Theory Optimal.
What do you think of this, Dan? Yeah.
He's running hot.
I wouldn't be surprised if I run a runner. If I don't have something now, I'm probably gonna hit runner.
That is true. That is very true. So that's why I'm in, because this way a representative from Blind Theory Optimal takes it. You know, very important.
Now on the turn, you can look at our
goes
hand.
runner
This is very
straight,
important.
right?
So on the turn, you get to look at your hand.
Yeah, this is an important flop.
It's like 2-on-1.
Unless you look at my
my
hand.
God.
Check.
Good.
Oh my God.
Did it happen?
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine.
Like, how can I be
Easiest
bad?
decision in your life.
Yeah, no, I don't have shit.
I played it awesome. God, what a great table. This next hand we look down at King Jack offsuit from the cutoff. Early position opens it up to $10, and Alex in middle position, of course he calls. He's not going to miss a hand. Jake puts in the call, and I'm going to spoil the party. I re-raise it up to 40 bucks. Alex and Jake both put in the call, and we're going to see a great flop for us. Jack 7-9 with 2 diamonds. We have top pair with a jack kicker, so when the action checks over to me, there's 130 in the middle, and I decide to bet $50. Alex is first to act and he puts in the 50 bones. Jake is second to act, but he decides to rip his entire stack in for $200. When the action's back over to me, it may be a decision at a tighter table, but at this fun, loosey-goosey, eating a sandwich type table, I decided to put my entire stack in. I'm stuck in the game as well, so $300 of my own money are going into the middle. Unfortunately, Alex gets out of the way and we're heads up with our good buddy Jake. He turns over Queen 10 of diamonds. So although we have him beat, it's a pretty scary spot to be in. He has the flush draw and the open-ended straight draw. Lucky for us, I block one of his king outs. We're gonna run it 2 times, and for all you newbies, 2 times just means the turn and the river are gonna come twice, and each board is gonna get half the pot. The first board comes the Queen of Hearts, giving him a pair, followed by the 10 of Spades. So although it looks like he has 2 pair, we actually have the straight on that board. The second board comes a 4 of Spades, followed by the 4 of Hearts. Just like that, we're gonna scoop both boards against our buddy Jake. Although he doesn't realize it in the moment, he thinks he has 2 pair and that beats my pair of kings. Sorry Jake, man, I have a straight on that board and that's good enough to take down that $600 pot.
Sorry, Jake. Sorry, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Double gutter.
I was like, how are we chopping?
Double gutter and the flush draw.
Sorry.
Wait, you put the Queen 10 up, I'm like 2 pair. I'm good.
I had
7 9s. That would have been
I'm sorry.
Last hand of the night, I look down at King Jack offsuit once again. Under the gun, who is our buddy Tom to the left, he raises it up to $10 and there's 2 callers over to me. I decide to re-raise to $50. I'm trying to build the size of the pot, and only Daniel puts in the call. So going heads up to the flop, which comes monotone spades, 8-6-3. Not a great board for us, so I decide to check it over to Daniel. He decides to check behind, which is interesting, and we see an ace of diamonds on the turn, which definitely will hit my range a lot harder than his. Let's remember that he called the $10 bet, I raised it to 50 pre, and he called my 50. What does that mean he has in his range? Probably a lot of pocket pairs, not too many ace king, ace queen. I'm gonna have more of that. However, let's not forget, he still could have pocket 8s, pocket 6s, pocket 3s. He could also have like king 10, king queen with like the king of spades in it. So although in the moment I bet out for $40, I'm not too sure if this is a great bet in the long run. And Daniel in the moment decides to put in the call once again, bringing in a terrible card, the jack of spades. It's likely that if the board was not a spade, I would have bombed it and tried a bluff here, but instead the jack of spades peels off and we make a pair, so we have a little bit of showdown value. But it puts a 4th spade out there, which is definitely not great news. I check it over to Daniel and he bets out for $50. And I come to the decision that he just does not bluff on rivers. He bets that $50, I muck my cards, and he doesn't turn over a hand containing a spade, although he did have us beat ace 10 offsuit, so it's likely no spade on the river. I would have lost more money trying to bluff into Daniel there. But he's going to take down that last hand of the night, $200 going his way. With that being said, we rack up our chips and head over to the cage. All right, that wraps up our 1-2 session here, marathon session. Played for around like 6 or 7 hours, got in for 300, rebought for another 400, cash out for 277, loss of 433, but we met a lot of really cool people, and honestly learned some new phrases like blind theory optimal, so I might have to make some hoodies about that. If you guys want to see blind theory optimal hoodies, let me know down below and I'll probably make some in the next few days. As always, good luck on the felt, you guys. I really appreciate all the support. Subscribe if you're new, leave a comment down below. I'll respond to all the positive ones, and as always, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye. Thanks for watching to the end of my video. Click my head below to subscribe and stay in the loop. See you next time.